On a rainy night, on the rooftop of a castle, an assassin prepared to kill his target. While checking the sharpness of his blade, he felt a strange presence. When he turned around, there was a young man standing atop the castle. At first, he assumed it was just another assassin like himself. However, when he looked at his face, he realized it was the silent assassin. Even sensing he was no match for the silent assassin, he didn't retreat, declaring that he couldn't abandon his target. He quickly began running across the roof, displaying impressive speed. As he threw his kunai, the silent assassin absorbed them and dodged with effortless precision and power. Face to face, the two charged at each other without hesitation, swords in hand. The silent assassin proved to be much more agile and powerful than his opponent, and with one precise strike, he sent the enemy's sword flying into the air. Disarmed, the assassin tried using his kunai again for a final strike. It failed. The silent assassin saw his opening and moved behind him. After several fierce blows, the man kept resisting as much as he could, but when he was finally struck down, his sword still falling from the sky landed right in his chest. After finishing his opponent, the silent assassin descended into the victim's room to kill them without mercy. At school, students chatted about sword training until one of them noticed Akira, who was reading something on his phone. He was interrupted by a classmate who asked if he also liked isekai stories. Akira replied that he liked anything he could read for free. He seemed like an introverted student who didn't enjoy attention. The others even admitted they barely remembered he was in their class. Hearing the students talk, Akira admitted he was surprised that someone had actually spoken to him at school, since no one usually noticed him. Suddenly, a dark blur appeared on the classroom ceiling. From it, several lines spread across the floor where the students stood. The lights turned purple, and Akira quickly realized it was some kind of portal. Later, he would learn it was a magic circle that teleported them to a palace in another world. When they arrived, the students were confused about what was happening. An old man with a white beard and a monocle opened the royal gates, saying that His Majesty wanted to speak with them. A girl wondered if it was all some kind of fantasy, but she was quickly silenced by the old man's stern voice. The king appeared and told the students they were now in a world called Morrigan, and that the human kingdom they were in was named Redis, the greatest nation on the human continent. The students questioned the king about the term human kingdom. He explained that their world was under attack by demons and revealed that only a hero from another world had the power to defeat the demon lord, the strongest among them. Akira immediately noticed how similar it all was to an isekai story, which secretly made him excited. The old man then said they would now identify who among them was the hero, surprising everyone. All they had to do was place their hand on a crystal orb located at the center of the palace. One student rushed to be the first. The old man gave instructions, telling him to say status mentally to reveal his class. To his surprise, a magic screen appeared, showing that he wasn't the hero. Still, the old man assured him that even without being the hero, he had good stats enough to become a legend one day. As the students went one by one, the old man explained that even without touching the orb, they could see their stats by saying status in their minds. Akira's classmate claimed to be a wind mage and asked Akira what his class was. Akira replied that he was an assassin, to which his friend said the class suited him perfectly. Akira checked his own stats privately by thinking status, and realized his abilities were far superior to those of his classmates. Finally, the hero was revealed. His name was Satu. The old man explained that most people had around 500 power, but the hero had twice that amount. Even so, Akira was amazed by his own strength. His stats were unusually high for an assassin. When it was his turn to reveal his stats publicly, he hesitated, afraid of showing how abnormal they were. Using his presence concealment ability, he turned invisible. His classmates standing next to him couldn't see him at all, allowing Akira to slip away unnoticed. The royal attendants dismissed the students, telling them to rest in their chambers. As Akira walked down the corridor, he looked up and noticed cameras watching the students as they moved, which made him suspect the royal family was hiding something. Little did Akira know, he was already being watched by one of the royal guards. Akira is in his room and soon notices that it isn't clean, which actually makes him feel more comfortable. It means no one will enter to tidy it up. He receives some clothes typical of an assassin, and says he needs to gather more information. When he steps outside, he realizes that his movements have become sharper, and his physical abilities have noticeably improved. He hears a strange noise coming from inside the palace, and activates his presence concealment mode. There, he overhears the king talking to the princess about the student. The king says it's extremely important that the students don't gain access to the castle's records. They must not learn too much. Akira watches them closely, but they don't notice him because he's invisible. However, the king senses a strange presence, though he dismisses it after seeing no one. The next day, during lunch, Akira eats while remaining hidden. He reflects on whether or not he should tell his classmates what he discovered. Suddenly, Satu stands up and addresses the students, saying that now that they have enhanced abilities, they should help the people of this world. He declares that they must fight against the demon lord to save the people from this threat. The students quickly agree, cheering and getting excited, but Akira knows the royal family can't be trusted. Sarin Mithray, the Knight Commander of Redis, is in charge of the students' training. He announces that he will test their combat ability and courage. Akira overhears this from afar and wonders what he should do. He decides to gather more information. As the training begins, Sarin leaves the command to his companion, Jills, who is caught off guard. Before leaving, Sarin hints that he has something more important to take care of. As Akira walks through the halls in search of something, he is suddenly stopped by Sarin. Even though his presence concealment ability is active, Sarin still detects him and asks, "Something bothering you, Akira?" Startled, Akira wonders if he accidentally deactivated his stealth mode, but Sarin smirks and tells him the ability is still active, sarcastically adding that his mystical eyes can perceive temperature differences. Akira prepares for battle, but hesitates when Sarin assures him he won't report him to the king or the princess. He asks Akira if he's on their side. Sarin admits that things are complicated even for the knights, but warns Akira not to tell the king anything. The two sit down to talk. Sarin asks if Akira would like to see the king's secret records. Akira says yes, since he still doesn't understand anything about this world. Sarin then asks how high Akira's presence concealment skill level is. Akira replies that it's at the maximum level, which astonishes Sarin, though the rest of his abilities are still at level 1. Sarin offers to help Akira train and increase his power levels, adding that there's nothing too special in the records anyway. Akira shows excitement about being in a world he used to see only in fiction, but he reminds himself not to lose focus. His goal is to return home to his family. He asks Sarin if he knows how to return to his world. Sarin admits he doesn't, but tells him that in any case, he must get stronger if he wants to make that happen. To go back home, Akira must stay alive. Sarin offers him the chance to help him become an exceptional assassin. Akira, suspicious of free offers, asks for the condition. Sarin replies that in exchange, Akira must tell him about his own world. Sarin says he's hungry for new knowledge, and so the two form a partnership. Sarin teaches Akira about their current world, explaining that besides humans and demons, there are also elves and beastmen, each living on separate continents. The two begin a skill training session. Sarin explains that to raise one's class level, one must kill monsters. After Akira tells him a bit about his world, Sarin says he finds it fascinating flying metal vehicles in the sky and panels that broadcast information across the entire globe. Things that are ordinary for Akira, but that he's already starting to miss. Later, Jills and Sarin talk in a room. Jills says the student's progress is good, but his workload has increased since Sarin has been focusing solely on Akira. Sarin replies that Akira's stories from his world are entertaining, and that, beyond that, Akira's presence concealment ability is at its maximum level. Jills is amazed, saying that only the first hero ever achieved that. Akira appears in the middle of their conversation. Holding a book, he explains that he has been sneaking into the archives at night to read, and he found one particular book that frightens him. Sarin tells him that the book contains information about a coup d'etat, which makes it somewhat frightening. He admits that he wrote it himself and disguised it as a cookbook to hide it, and that he already expected Akira would find it. Sarin says that the king has lost his sanity and is willing to pay a terrible price to change the rules of this world, and they cannot allow that. However, the knights still owe a great debt to the royal family. Akira says that, after reading the book, he realized Sarin seeks a peaceful end to the reign. He adds that it would have been easier if Akira had simply killed the king when he had the chance, since he has no real ties to this world. Sarin says Akira made the right choice by not killing him. The burden of taking a life is heavy, and even though Akira's class is assassin, that doesn't mean he is obliged to kill. He also tells him that if Akira truly wishes to return to his world, he shouldn't shed blood. Akira agrees, saying his family would be disappointed if he became a killer. Sarin makes it clear that he deeply admires Akira and his decisions. He proved to be a man who isn't swayed by others, and only a strong man possesses that quality. Sarin wishes for Akira's help to complete his coup before returning to his world. Akira says he will think about it. After a month of training, the students are sent to a great labyrinth called Cantinan. They are celebrated by the citizens as heroes. From afar, Akira spots a girl in the crowd staring at him. He quickly teleports behind her and asks why she's looking at him like that. The girl says they are treated as heroes, but they don't know what was sacrificed to bring them to this world. Akira, unaware of any sacrifice, questions her about it, but she turns her back, saying she has the feeling this won't be the last time they meet. Upon arriving at the labyrinth, they find it filled with traps and monsters to fight. Surrounded, Akira tells Sarin it's time to retreat. Sarin agrees, drawing his sword and unleashing destructive power, killing the monsters in their path. As they climb the stairs, they come across another group of monsters. Satu, remembering a grenade that repels monsters, tries to use it against them, but it has no effect, and a minotaur charges at them. Seeing this, Akira tries to leap onto the minotaur and stab it in the head, but his sword breaks. Akira retreats. The group looks desperate. Satu wonders who will save them since he's already injured. Akira replies that they don't need heroes, they can save themselves. Noticing something strange about Satu, Akira realizes he's been cursed. He immediately calls for a dispeller to remove the curse. To save himself and the group, Akira tells Sarin he wants to try a specific attack. Sarin agrees, and they prepare for execution. Suddenly, a light appears above the minotaur, and a burst of power strikes it. Behind it, Akira prepares his move. Akira's attack is called Shadow Magic. He opens a shadow beneath the minotaur, which tries to escape but is pierced by black spikes and dragged into Akira's shadow. With Sarin's help, Akira manages to finish the battle. Sarin praises his excellent work, saying it was thanks to Akira that they survived. Sarin admits he had never heard of this bonus skill Akira used. It's extremely powerful but difficult to control, as it consumes a lot of energy. He warns Akira to use it only when absolutely necessary. Sarin then gifts Akira a katana. Akira asks why he doesn't give it to the hero instead. Sarin replies that the hero already has his sacred sword and the king would notice if he carried the katana, since it was stolen from the royal armory. Akira asks for the katana's name. It's engraved near the hilt in an unreadable language. On the blade, it says that it once belonged to the god of the night blade, and an inscription reads, "May this reach you, my successor, and guide you in your hour of need." The message sparks curiosity in both Akira and Sarin. Sarin says he has an idea who cursed Satu the princess. Akira goes after her and finds her casting another curse inside her chamber. He enters through the window and slices the cursed crystal in half. The princess demands to know who he is and how he dares enter her quarters without permission. He tells her she's nothing more than a witch who uses curses to control others. He asks her why she does it. She replies that everything she does is for his majesty. Akira questions why she follows his orders so blindly, but she insists she does everything for the majesty. Then he leaves. Akira later tells Sarin that he was right, it was the princess behind the curses. Sarin asks if Akira let her see his face. He says yes and explains he wanted to know what she was doing but couldn't get a proper conversation out of her. Sarin reiterates that, at this point, she's nothing more than the king's puppet, and advises Akira to rest for the day but not in the castle, because the princess will likely start cursing everyone except the hero. However, since Akira possesses an unknown status, she wouldn't be able to control him. The only way to resolve it would be through his death. Akira asks Sarin if he plans to punish him for showing his face, but Sarin lets it go, saying that everyone has impulses when they're young. Akira admires his maturity, saying there should be more adults like him in his own world. Sarin jokes that Akira should take him along when he leaves, as he would love to see his world. At dawn, while Akira is sleeping in the forest, he hears noises coming from the palace. He heads toward the students' area, and Satu calls out to him, asking where he's been. Akira asks what's happening, and Satu replies that the commotion is about the commander. In disbelief, Akira rushes to Sarin's body. A dagger is lodged in his chest, the very same dagger Akira had broken against the Minotaur's head. Everyone accuses Akira of killing the commander because of his disappearance the previous night. Akira suspects that the princess's curse has affected them all. Satu defends him, saying it's reckless to make such accusations. The king declares that, for supposedly killing Sarin, Akira will face justice and punishment. Cornered by the guards, Akira uses his presence concealment ability and vanishes. Invisible, he goes to Jill's for information. Jill's tells him that the commander was actually killed by the king's personal assassins, the Night Crows, and that they are also hunting Akira. Sarin had anticipated that something like this might happen and had set aside what Akira would need to escape. At the palace, the princess and the king talk. The king expresses disappointment that Sarin fell so easily. The princess says she has finished casting curses on everyone except the hero, and now they only need an excuse to declare war on the east. The king orders the Night Crows to kill Akira. While fleeing to the labyrinth they had explored before, Akira recalls the conversations he had with Sarin before his death. Sarin had given him advice in case he ever needed to run, telling him to head for the dungeon, as there's no better place to hide. He also warned that water access there is limited, so careful planning is required. The dungeon is the best place to raise one's class level, since the deeper you go, the stronger the enemies become. Upon hearing that, Akira asks Sarin why people in this world don't go to the dungeon to level up. Sarin explained that the dungeon is too dangerous, and even Akira's presence concealment wouldn't work against creatures with sharp hearing and smell. However, if Akira managed to further develop his assassin abilities, he could mask his scent, his footsteps, and even his body heat, even though it's a difficult mission. Sarin said it's all worth it once you reach class level 100. You unlock a special ability that guarantees your survival in this world. Before going to the dungeon, Sarin told Akira to return once more to the Cantina Labyrinth, where they had trained before, and to defeat the bosses he would find every 10 floors. Upon entering a boss chamber, Akira knows there's no way out until one of them is dead. Once he completes these challenges, his abilities will grow significantly. Following Sarin's advice, Akira fights the boss in the labyrinth, but takes a heavy hit to the back, even wounded. He's determined to return home and avenge Commander Sarin. Despite the pain, he pushes forward, using his shadow magic ability again, the same one he used during training, and manages to defeat the boss. Exhausted and injured, he collapses after using the skill. Then, a light shines over him, and a voice speaks, saying he is now in recovery mode and that the healing will require emergency mana reserves. At the palace, the students discuss defeating the Demon Lord. Satu seems eager to fight him as soon as possible, but the others are still in shock over Sarin's death, convinced that Akira killed him. Satu notices his companions acting strangely and realizes it's because of the curse the princess cast, the same one Jill's mentioned. Since his companions refuse to go with him, Satu decides to go alone. But as he says this, he's surprised to hear some classmates volunteering to join him. Together, they leave the palace in search of the Lord. Outside the palace, Satu asks why they agreed to come along. Then he learns that one of the group members is the Dispeller, the same one who sensed her comrades were cursed and removed it. One of them, named Asahina Kaioyusuke, also admits that his own actions probably led to this situation. He vaguely remembers breaking crystals in an unknown room with that katana, a weapon he has no idea where it came from. Jills watches them proudly. Knowing he successfully carried out Commander Sarin's orders, he wishes good luck to the heroes from another world. Asahina thinks of Akira, saying he needs to find him, revealing that the two already knew each other in their original world, and even while cursed, he failed to protect him. He recalls memories from the past, when he used to talk with Akira and learned that their sisters were friends. Akira joked, saying he hoped his sister would never find out about the things older brothers preferred to keep secret. When Akira wakes up in the labyrinth, he also remembers Asahina. Akira hopes that he's doing well and that his family isn't worried about him. As he stands up, Akira notices that he feels no pain, which seems strange since he had just finished his battle not long ago. He checks his stats and realizes they've increased dramatically after the fight. He thought his ribs were broken and that the poison had spread through his legs, yet he feels perfectly fine. His shadow magic had jumped 2 levels after using it just once, and he was learning to control it more effectively. Even without fully understanding what's happening, he moves on. In the labyrinth's corridors, he encounters a slime coming toward him. After slicing through the slime, a female body falls out and collapses unconscious on the ground, revealing a blonde woman dressed in white. Akira assumes she's an elf because of her pointed ears. Enchanted, he mutters that it's the most beautiful face he's ever seen. Faced with the situation, Akira considers using a strange ability he possesses called Eyes of the World, but he hesitates. The ability feels dangerous, so he decides not to use it. The elf finally wakes up, and Akira asks how she's feeling. She replies that she's fine. Since Akira's ability allows him to perceive the world in absolute detail, he can see her HP only 2% loss, and also realizes she possesses the same ability. This results in a spiritual exchange of information between them. The elf asks where they are. Akira replies that it's the 75th floor of the Cantina Labyrinth. She asks what he's doing there, and he says he's there to level up. Akira knows she's seen his name through the Eyes of the World and calls her rude for not asking it directly. Feverish, she faints again. When she wakes up, the elf finds herself beside Akira, who's been helping her recover. He gives her food and tends to her needs. The elf notices the number 69 written on the wall and asks Akira what it means. He explains that he writes them down to avoid getting lost between floors, having previously told her they were on the 75th floor. He says he went down a few levels to collect more water. She then questions if he touched any wrong places while carrying her. He denies it and tells her to get some rest. The elf reveals that she's of royal blood and expresses her gratitude for everything Akira has done. Once she falls asleep, Akira also rests, keeping his danger detector active. When they wake, the two continue through the labyrinth. By the 80th floor, even after recovering, the elf still follows Akira. He asks her why, and she replies that she's simply going in the same direction. He makes it clear that from now on, she should protect herself. She responds that even though he has superhuman strength, she doesn't need his protection. As they cross the entrance gate to the boss chamber, a strong wind blows through, revealing a blue dragon that breathes fire upon them. They both run, Akira activates his presence concealment skill, but the dragon still senses him and strikes as he tries to attack. The elf explains that the dragon is tracking Akira's mana and tells him to disperse it throughout the area, a task that seems impossible to him. She tries to restrain the dragon using her magic but fails, growing impatient as the dragon prepares to strike again. Akira leaps onto its back and drives his sword into its eye, bringing it crashing down. Amazed, the elf asks what Akira just did. He answers that since he wasn't skilled enough to diffuse his mana, he used the surrounding mana instead. Suddenly, a radiant white light shines from the dragon, transforming it into a cat with dark fur and a crest on its forehead. The two are confused. The elf explains that it's still alive and possesses the extra skill metamorph. She adds that Akira would have had a much harder time if it had been a real dragon. This was a monster called the Black Cat. Akira asks how she figured all that out, and she replies that she used her Eyes of the World ability. She then asks if Akira uses his as well. He says he can't control it due to his low level, but she tells him he's simply rejecting the ability. Then, the Black Cat wakes up. He said that to play with them, he turned into a dragon he had once seen, but ended up overdoing it. Akira is astonished by the cat's ability to speak. The cat explains that he was created by the Demon Lord and is nothing like those beasts that act purely on instinct. He's a creature of great intelligence. The elf sarcastically remarks that he sure likes to call himself intelligent. Akira replies, "Yeah, there are people like that." The Black Cat, belittling Akira, asks, "What could a brat under 100 years old possibly know?" Akira responds that the cat talks like a snob and should acknowledge his current situation, being too injured to even move. Akira threatens him with his kunai, but before he can act, the Black Cat says he has a message from the Demon Lord. He's been summoned to Volcano, the land of demons, and the Lord awaits him in his castle deep within. Akira asks the cat how the Demon Lord knows about him and how he knew Akira would enter the labyrinth, but the cat says he doesn't know. He's incapable of understanding the Demon Lord's vast thoughts. When he finishes, the Black Cat says his mission is complete and that Akira can kill him now. But Akira refuses, saying that even though monsters are considered enemies, he doesn't fully believe in this "all demons are evil" story. The elf warns that the room will only unlock if either the boss or the challenger dies. Yet Akira refuses again. The cat then asks why Akira won't kill him. Akira answers that he loves cats and has no reason to kill one with such beautiful fur. Besides, he can communicate with this one unlike with the other monsters. The cat says Akira can mock him all he wants, but does he really intend to stay trapped in the boss chamber and starve to death? Akira then asks if there's any way around that. The elf explains there is a ritual called a monster pact. If he turns the beast into his familiar, it will no longer be considered a boss. But the cat claims that's just theory. The ritual requires perfect mana control, something Akira clearly lacks as an inexperienced mage. The elf reminds Akira of his feats and says she believes he can do it. After all, only the first hero ever managed to defeat a monster the way Akira did. She tells him he's fully capable of starting the ritual, though she can't promise it will succeed. Akira asks what happens if he fails. The cat answers that one of them will die, maybe even both. Akira accepts the risk. The cat seems indifferent about life or death. Akira says he dislikes that mindset, the cat's apathy toward existence itself, and it irritates him. The cat only replies that he has nothing to gain from living. Then the ritual begins. Akira asks the elf for instructions, and she tells him to give the cat a name. Akira names him Night because of his beautiful dark fur. Then he must place his hand on Night and channel his mana into him. Before he begins, the elf warns him not to discourage him, but that there's no turning back now. Their souls will either unite or both will die. Confident, Akira says he has no intention of dying. He focuses, and as he channels his mana into Night, he finds himself in a stormy sea that suddenly shifts into a free fall over a destroyed, chaotic city. From above, he sees Night attacking innocent people. In a desperate attempt to stop him, Akira is hit by a blast of power from Night's mouth. After crashing down, Night challenges him, telling him to kill him. If his soul perishes here, his body will become nothing but a moving corpse. Killing him is Akira's only way to survive. Akira takes a brutal hit and begins to bleed. The elf, watching from the outside, realizes his body is in danger. He counters Night's attacks, but Night easily deflects them and retaliates with his claws. Before the blow lands, Akira deliberately throws himself onto Night's claws, offering his life. The cat can't understand why Akira would do such a thing. He says Akira only needed to kill him. Now, with a claw pierced through his chest, Akira still says he won't kill him because he knows Night never truly wanted to kill him either. Night insists he's a monster, but Akira challenges him, asking if there's any rule saying monsters must kill other races. Night replies it's not a rule, it's instinct. Intelligence doesn't erase that, but Akira knows Night is tired of living that way. and tells him it's alright, he'll take care of him. Around them, the hellish city transforms into a breathtaking landscape under a shining sun, symbolizing the merging of their spirits and the ritual's success achieved through Akira's selfless act. Now, Knight possesses the ability to change his size, becoming either a small domestic cat or a large, imposing beast. Akira wakes up and goes to check if Knight is alright. Placing his hand over the unconscious cat, the crest on Knight's forehead begins to glow under Akira's hand, confirming that the ritual worked. The crest, once red, turns yellow. When the cat wakes, he says he's curious to see where Akira's life will lead him. Akira is now officially Knight's master, and the cat swears loyalty to him, promising to stay by his side. The elf finally reveals her name Amelia and introduces herself to Knight. He tells her that, as his master's friend, she has his respect. A magic circle appears beneath them, it's the exit. The labyrinth acknowledges that Knight is no longer the boss of that floor. Still, they decide to rest a bit longer, since Knight is too weak to move and needs time to recover before continuing on. Meanwhile, Satu and his group are in a land called Yamato, part of the continent, founded by a hero several generations ago. They stop to eat, amazed by the place, and are glad they followed Satu there. Yuki says she loves the Edo-like atmosphere of the region, while Shori asks if she can take someone's leftover wasabi if anyone has extra. She wants it all. Then Satu brings up a serious topic. They're running out of money and need to find work. The group suggests becoming adventurers, since they've already traveled across many lands on their way to Yamato. They decide to talk to the locals and buy some books to learn more about this world. When asked about returning to their original world, Satu says the fastest way is to defeat the Demon Lord. Since the king and princess were the ones who summoned them, they must know a way back. So, if they become true heroes, maybe they can negotiate with the royal family. They agree to gather as much knowledge and money as possible before heading to the demon continent. Asahina suggests that before they leave, they should reunite with Akira. His intuition tells him that Akira is much stronger than any of them, and that facing the Demon Lord without him would be dangerous. Even with that, the group still doubts Akira, saying he might have been the one who killed Sarin. Asahina quickly denies it, explaining it was just the effect of the princess's curse. Yuki argues that Akira isn't a team player, too detached from everyone else. Satu agrees, saying that even though he's known Akira since kindergarten, the guy doesn't even greet him. Asahina can't really disagree, he knows Akira never cared for teamwork. They also make it clear that only the holy sword of the hero can kill the Demon Lord, which means cooperation is essential. But Akira wouldn't care about that anyway, his power far surpasses that of his peers. Satu concludes that they should only consider teaming up with Akira once they're as strong as he is. Everyone agrees to stay in the city, at least while the monsters nearby match their current level. In the middle of the forest, Amelia is seen running, fleeing from a group that's hunting her. An arrow strikes her leg, making it harder to escape. Still, she refuses to give up and keeps running. Cornered at a cliff's edge, she asks her pursuers why they're after her. The elf leading the hunt only asks why Amelia is still alive. Just before being struck by a rain of arrows, Amelia uses her gravity powers to throw herself off the cliff, escaping death. She wakes up on a beach, gets to her feet, and continues her journey. But when she encounters a dark slime, it swallows her whole. That's how she ended up meeting Akira in the labyrinth. She tells all of this to Akira and Knight as they rest. Knight is amazed slimes don't usually swallow people, and the fact that she escaped is even more impressive. Amelia says she's thankful to that slime because it led her to Akira. Akira tells her she should go back to her homeland and set things right. But Amelia says she'll never return, she no longer has a home. It's revealed that the one who tried to assassinate her was her own sister. That's why she can't go back. Akira tells her that since they're family, there's always a chance they can fix things. He remembers his own sister. He has flashbacks of giving her a present, a new phone. Instead of thanking him, she feels guilty seeing how overworked and tired he looks. She tells him not to buy her things if it means pushing himself too hard. Akira's mother steps in, telling Yui, his sister, that it's just a gift, and he did it out of love. Yui jokingly thanks him, saying she'll let it slide this time. Then Akira tells Amelia that it's normal for families to argue. She asks him if he misses them. He says yes, but that he had a mission to complete before seeing them again. Akira says that in his world, no one ever noticed him, so it even makes sense that he has the ability to hide present. However, Sarin taught him how to survive, and was the first person to truly notice him, but was murdered. This reveals Akira's hatred and thirst for revenge. Along with that comes his guilt. He says Sarin would still be alive if he had never gotten involved with him. As he speaks those words, his powers begin to spiral out of control. His bloodlust becomes obvious. He declares that he will only leave that world after avenging Sarin. After losing control, he apologizes to Amelia and Knight, who say they knew Sarin. He was quite famous among the knights. Realizing he made things tense, Akira tries to lighten the mood by picking up his glove and waving it near the ground. Knight instinctively tries to grab it with his paw and asks what Akira is doing. Akira says he used to play like that with the cats in his neighborhood. Amelia, excited, says she wants to play too. Knight says, "Even you, Amelia?" Then Amelia and Akira start petting Knight. Akira says he wants to prove to Knight that he wasn't joking when he said he likes cats, and Amelia agrees. Knight tells Akira to take things seriously, revealing that if one of them dies, the other will die as well. Their souls are linked. However, there's one good side. They can communicate through their minds, no matter the distance. Akira jokes that it's more convenient than cell phones. Amelia says she's jealous, hinting that she wishes she could bond her spirit with Knight, but quietly admits that what she really wants is to be linked to Akira. Akira doesn't hear her at first, and she doesn't repeat it. As they prepare to enter the magic circle, Akira asks Knight where the portal will take them. Knight doesn't know and says that nowadays, only a few demons know how to create and operate magic circles. Akira says that once he gets his revenge, he'll visit them and make them open a portal for him, and he'll also tell the demon lord that Knight completed his task. Amelia explains that light blue teleportation circles take the user to where they wish to go, and if 3 people use one, it responds to the desire of only one of them. Akira realizes it's a gamble. There's no way to know where they'll end up. Amelia says it doesn't matter where they go, as long as she's with him. They stare at each other for a moment, but Akira jokes that she only needs him to get food. Then they step into the magic circle. As they enter, Akira wonders if his wish to return home could come true through it, but he quickly dismisses the thought, deciding he can't fulfill that wish just yet. Once teleported, they find themselves before a massive tree, which Knight calls the sacred tree. They realize they've arrived where Amelia wished to go in the forest continent, land of the elves. Even though they ended up far away, Akira says it's not a bad place. Amelia, however, is desperate. She didn't want to return there yet. At that moment, an elf aims an arrow at Amelia and fires. Akira saves her at the last second. He charges at the elf, and before the elf can react, he's already restrained, holding a kunai to the elf's neck. Akira tells him not to move, or he'll lose his head. They climb down from the tree, and Amelia recognizes the elf as Liam Gladiolus, who came to investigate the strange light caused by the magic circle. Referring to Amelia, Liam says he's found a criminal one who abandoned her homeland and declares that she's no longer a princess there. Before he can finish speaking, Akira strikes him and knocks him out, saying he hates guys who talk when no one asks them to. Amelia thanks Akira, but they soon realize they're surrounded by elves. Her sister, Kilika, appears and says she's impressed by Amelia's courage to return. Kilika calls her the daughter of plague and declares she will pay for her crime. A flashback then shows Amelia's past as a princess. While she walked through the fields, guards followed her. She asked to continue alone, but they refused for safety reasons. Looking toward the forest, she saw her sister Kilika training with her soldiers, easily disarming all 3 with extraordinary skill. Amelia, amazed by her sister's talent, said Kilika was incredible and improved more every day. The guard beside her said, "As impressive as Kilika is, Princess Amelia, you are the one who will lead our nation one day." Amelia felt unworthy of the throne, knowing her sister's abilities far surpassed her own. A series of misfortunes then struck her life. Her engagement to Liam ended, and her sister began calling her the daughter of plague. While Amelia goes through those hardships, her sister mocks her, revealing her cruelty. She declares that Amelia has committed an unforgivable crime, and that Princess Kilika is the true ruler. Everyone turns against Amelia because of her sister's words. Back in the present, Amelia pleads with Kilika to let her go, but Kilika refuses, insulting her. Akira steps in to defend her, warning Kilika to be careful with her words. Kilika asks who Akira is and why he's defending a criminal. He replies that he's just a passing assassin who met her recently. Kilika says that by hurting Liam, Amelia has only added to her list of crime. Confused, Akira asks what crimes Amelia supposedly committed. Kilika answers that her sister gave her poison disguised as a healing potion, and that no one, not even royalty, escapes punishment for harming a member of the royal family. Amelia denies it, saying it truly was a healing potion. Kilika is offended by the accusation that she made it all up. She walks toward Akira, thanking him for bringing back a runaway criminal. As she gets close, she looks into his eyes and uses her ability to hypnotize him. Amelia becomes furious, shouting that Akira has the right to decide how to act and feel. She demands that Kilika undo the hypnosis. Kilika refuses, saying that nothing Amelia says can erase what she's done. But to both their surprise, Akira wasn't hypnotized. He tells Amelia to calm down. Her sister's power didn't affect him. Knight explains that hypnosis doesn't work on someone of a much higher level who possesses mental control abilities. Kilika can't believe Akira is stronger than her. He tells her to withdraw her false accusations against her sister, losing her patience when she realizes they don't believe her. Kilika orders her soldiers to kill Akira. As Akira prepares to use his powers, he hesitates upon hearing Eldarian Amelia and Kilika's father commanding everyone to lower their weapons. He asks Kilika what's going on. She hadn't expected her father to return from his inspection so soon. Noticing that all the soldiers defend Kilika and insist she's right while blaming Amelia, Eldarian realizes Kilika used her hypnosis ability on them. Eldarian orders Kilika to undo the hypnosis and says she'll be punished later. Then he walks up to Akira and Amelia, saying Amelia will atone for the harm she caused. He commands Akira to leave, since outsiders from other races aren't allowed in those lands. Amelia disagrees with her father, threatening to leave with Akira. Enraged, he yells that she's forbidden from doing that she will inherit and rule the kingdom when her time comes. Akira cuts him off, saying that Amelia has the right to do whatever she wants. Eldarian tells him to stay out of family matters, calling him a foreigner. Akira replies that, precisely because he's a foreigner, he doesn't have to obey Eldarian, and that he can defend Amelia by force if necessary, gripping his sword. Liam wakes up after being knocked out and apologizes for the disgraceful situation. Eldarian asks if it was Akira who knocked him out. When Liam confirms, Eldarian realizes Akira isn't bluffing when he threatens to use force. In that case, Eldarian proposes a duel. The winner will have the final say. Kilika will fight as his representative. According to elven tradition, the duel will take place at the sacred tree. As they walk toward the duel, Amelia apologizes to Akira for dragging him into this. He tells her not to worry, he's responsible for his own action. He takes the chance to ask what the insult "daughter of plague" means, since her sister keeps calling her that. Amelia explains that elven legend says if, among twins, one doesn't resemble the parents, that child is the daughter of plague destined to bring calamity to their land. Akira asks if Amelia is Kilika's twin, but before she can answer, Knight interrupts, asking if that old legend about killing the daughter of plague hadn't already been forgotten. Amelia says yes, but because her hair and eyes don't match her parents', they still call her that. Clearly, Kilika only uses the name to hurt her. Akira then says he actually finds Amelia's hair and eyes very beautiful. Kilika and Akira stand face to face, ready to begin the duel. Knight asks his master if he won't use his hide presence ability. Akira says no, the battle wouldn't mean anything unless he wins in a clear and decisive way. Amelia whispers that Kilika is the best swordswoman among the elves, but Akira doesn't seem too worried. On the other side, Eldarian tells Kilika not to disappoint him and to fulfill her duty as royalty. Just before it starts, Kilika asks Akira if he really believes he can defeat her without even drawing his sword. He then says it would be too dangerous, he might end up killing her. Akira thanks Amelia for showing genuine anger and standing up for him, and makes it clear that once he defeats Kilika, Amelia will be free to do whatever she wants. The battle begins. Even though Kilika is extremely skilled, Akira still has the upper hand, effortlessly dodging her attacks. He gives Kilika a chance, telling her to surrender while she still can. She ignores him and unleashes a tornado spell through her sword, aiming straight at him. As they fight, Knight and Amelia discuss each other's abilities. Amelia explains that the tornado spell is the only one Kilika has truly mastered and can use effectively. Now emotionally unstable, Kilika is completely overwhelmed by Akira. He asks if she can't make peace with Amelia. Kilika refuses, shouting that she'll never reconcile with someone who stole everything from her. Consumed by rage, she charges at Akira with all her strength. As violent gusts of wind tear through the area, Akira tells Knight to protect Amelia at any moment. She could be hurt by Kilika's loss of control. While fighting, Kilika remembers her past. As a child, Amelia was seen as the one chosen by the gods, the destined princess. That always bothered Kilika, who began to envy her sister from an early age. From the day Amelia was declared heir to the throne, everyone stopped paying attention to Kilika. Amid the chaos of the storm, Liam arrives holding a branch from the sacred tree, which possesses purifying powers, and hands it to Amelia. He begs her to use the sacred branch to save her sister, Kilika. Amelia raises the branch high, releasing a burst of light that frees all the soldiers from hypnosis. Once they regain consciousness, they all recognize Amelia as their true princess, fueling Kilika's hatred even more. Seeing Kilika lose control, Akira realizes he'll have to use his shadow magic to protect everyone. He casts it toward Kilika, who tries to counter it with her wind magic, but fails. The dark energy begins to consume her, and at the last moment, Akira intervenes instead of letting the shadows devour her. He recalls the magic back into himself. Kilika notices that Akira hesitated to kill her and lunges at him, thinking she has a chance, but Akira swiftly throws her back with a single strike. He understands Kilika's pain and tries to comfort her, saying that what she believes isn't true. People do notice her and admire her, but she refuses to believe either him or Amelia and demands that her punishment be carried out immediately. At that moment, her father responds that he's the one who should be punished. Amelia never took anything from her, and all of this is his fault. Confused, Kilika tells her father to stop talking nonsense. But Eldarion reveals that Kilika had been under the influence of his forgetfulness spell. When he lifts the spell, she remembers her past, how she once trained with determination to grow stronger. She had gone to the entrance of the labyrinth, planning to hone her skills up to the 3rd floor. There, a mysterious figure handed her a strange orb, promising it would summon perfect monsters that would help her level up faster. Once inside the labyrinth, she threw the orb on the ground, and it spawned countless monsters far stronger than her. Terrified, she tried to flee, but the monsters chased her outside the labyrinth. Determined to protect her people, she stood her ground, distracted when she heard Liam shouting for her to take cover. As Liam reached her, a monster impaled him through the stomach. He died right there. Her father explains that, to save Kilika from the trauma, he erased her memory of that day, because guilt had completely consumed her. Fortunately, Amelia had learned 2 advanced magic abilities, gravity and resurrection, and was able to bring Liam back to life. The rejection Kilika felt came from everyone's fear that she might one day remember the truth. The atmosphere in the kingdom became tense, and even her father had to hide everything from her. Eldarion says that if she had proven herself worthy of royalty in this duel, she could have held her head high without relying on hypnosis. With that confidence, he could have revealed the truth to her properly, but he ended up revealing it in a much more painful way. Liam confesses that he helped exile Princess Amelia to separate the sisters before Kilika's hatred grew even further. Even though Amelia believed Liam had been hypnotized, he had actually been cured by a leaf from the sacred tree, making him completely immune to hypnosis. Kilika's relentless efforts to improve impressed Liam, who could not bring himself to stop her. In the end, Kilika realizes that she had confused consideration with negligence, and that she had placed all the blame on her sister for something she had already fixed. Her sister, nevertheless, showed compassion and forgave her, saying that she considers her amazing, kind, attentive, and pure-hearted, and finally, the two made peace. After that, Eldarion held a welcome party for Akira, Amelia, and Noit. He made it clear that he was a man of his word, freeing Amelia to do whatever she wished. Eldarion asks Akira what his next move will be. He says that he will head toward the Beastmen continent. As his familiar tells him, it is the perfect place to acquire and maintain weapons. After the party, Akira and Amelia find themselves alone. She tells him that she will go wherever he goes and that they will be together forever. He agrees without a second thought. Meanwhile, Noit watches them from afar and says they are like children. Meanwhile, Satu and his group sail the open sea. They left Yamato because the monsters were already below their level. They also share the same goal as Akira, to go to the Beastmen continent to obtain weapon upgrades. This suggests that they will meet soon.